breaking news.
And that breaking news, firefighters on scene of what they're describing as a confined space rescue underway.
This happening near in Chandler, near Dobson and Ocotillo. A live look from the Cliff Castle chopper right now. We understand there are 3 patients involved, that this was a partial collapse. And as you can see, this is a massive construction area there. Again, you're looking at live pictures. And
Battalion Chief Keith Welch from the Chandler Fire Department on the phone with us right now. And Chief, from what we're hearing, these people are not necessarily trapped, but can't get out on their own. Can you confirm that?
That's correct, sir. We're on scene here with our TRT crews as well as other agencies. There was a partial collapse of what we would call a concrete form. Something you put down, you lay wet concrete down. They did have a partial collapse of the large form. It is below grade, probably approximately 25, 30 feet, which causes some problems. But luckily, our crews were able to get on scene with the help of obviously Intel, the Intel crews here as well, some of the safety people at Intel. We were able to get down to them quickly, assess them, no life-threatening injuries. And then we were able to stabilize the area and start to remove them. We've removed 2 patients at this time and are currently treating them, and the last one is on their way out.
And it looks like we're actually watching somebody being lifted up by some sort of lift at the moment as we're watching the chopper here. Give me an idea. Firefighters train for this all of the time, and when you get into a situation like this, obviously you want to kind of stabilize the scene, make sure there's not an additional collapse pending.
Yeah, that's correct. I know that you have video of it, and that's the last patient that's being taken out right now. And if you can see, there's another crane that's down there that's attached to a form that's actually holding the form in place. So it is stabilized that form so that the crews can actually get in there safely and treat the patient.
Chief, can you talk about some of the training that goes into this? Are those technical rescue teams staying right there on scene? Is that why there was such a quick response?
The technical rescue teams for us are a little further away. They're not on scene right here, right next to Intel. But Intel does have their own kind of integrated. They don't have a TRT team, but they have an integrated emergency response team that's able to gain information, and then they work with us closely once we get on scene and pass on information, and then we're able to go in and assess it, formulate a plan, and then act on that.
Some of the other things that you worry about when you're out there and you have these collapses or partial collapses, that something could collapse more, that there's not accurate lighting out there to help assess the situation. What are some of the other obstacles you're up against when you're making one of these rescues?
Well, some of the obstacles one is the stability of where the collapse is. Mm-hmm. Luckily here, it's a fairly stable area. There's already some concrete forms up, and then everything else has been formed up on the other side. It just was a collapse of one side, which we're lucky there. And these operations, safety is the utmost important to them, and they operate under high safety, a lot of safety standards on specifically here at Intel. So when you come in here, and the challenge is just really, getting to the location, and then they work with the crews here to say, hey, there's already some machinery, obviously cranes, different things like that they have that we can utilize too. So when you come in and you formulate your plan, it's like, what do you have in place? What's the best and quickest way to get these people out?
Mm-hmm. And in this case, looks like you're utilizing one of the cranes that was already on site to actually lift these guys out of there.
Correct.
Keith Welch, thanks so much for joining us from the Chandler Fire Department as we watch this person continue to be lifted out of this area. Again, about 25 feet below grade or below ground level, so to speak. And so they've had to use a crane to try to lift this person out. Good news, nobody seriously hurt there. But anybody who lives in Chandler has watched this construction project for years. 4 fabs already built in that area. They're fully operational. And the company announcing back in September that they were going to build 2 more fabs in this area, spending about $20 billion to build these state-of-the-art semiconductor facilities. It's just an enormous operation, quite literally thousands of construction workers expected to work on this, and it looks like they are at least getting this worker out of there. And again, we're told some minor injuries, but they are stable, nothing life-threatening from these guys, so that's going to be a huge sigh of relief for the families of these workers.
Absolutely, a pretty hopeful scene out there. We're going to stay on top of this. We'll keep the Cliff Castle chopper out there and keep you updated throughout throughout the evening as this third rescue of a patient out there takes place.